Hi, Kia ora listeners. Let's learn sumo. I'm Clayton. Welcome to the podcast. This is day 10 of the Nagoya Summer Grand Tournament. Thank you for joining me again. We last updated on day 6. I've been travelling around Japan for those few missing days. Look, a word of caution if you're coming to Japan for Nagoya or the September basho, summer in Japan and Tokyo in particular is blisteringly hot. Bring extra shirts, a small umbrella for sunshade. Be prepared for hot conditions today in Tokyo. It is expected to hit 40 degrees Celsius or 104 Fahrenheit in Tokyo and surrounds. So about the same in Nagoya apparently today too. Look, it's been a topsy-turvy basho so far with the Sanyaku demonstrating their inconsistency yet again. We can have a look at their journey over the last few days. I think day 9 was probably the most disappointing day if you're watching the Sanyaku. Let's start with Yokozuna Hoshoryu. Day 7 he faced and dealt with Hirata Umi by Tsukinage body throw. Easy does it there for Hoshoryu. Day 8 he faced Daisho, and again he does it easily by getting under Daisho's arms, driving him out. Started to look like the Yokozuna we want him to be. But day 9, again, it fell apart. He faced debutant Komusubi Yoshinofuji. Good tachioi. Hoshoryu charged in. Yoshinofuji tries to retreat, pull Hoshoryu down behind his head, but Hoshoryu stays up and starts to react to getting some thrusting going. Yoshinofuji got a bit of a deflecting thrust, goes straight in on the double body grip under his arms, catches the Yokozuna upright, and he just drives him back and across the ring over the bales. No kimboshi for the Komusubi. Gets a Yorikuri win, third loss for Hoshoryu. Day 10, and we saw what is likely to be a long-running rivalry with Aonishiki. Hoshoryu has had such limited success against the Ukrainian, and last night was no different. Now, watch the fight in real time. I've watched it in slow motion a number of times, and sometimes when you're watching a fight, you're looking for mistakes that one wrestler makes. And look, in this fight, it's probably more about the ring sense and the position of the winning sumo and his super fast reactions rather than poor sumo from Hoshoryu. Aonishiki fired in for the belt, got a left belt off the tachioi, his right arm lifted over Hoshoryu's head and tries to pull down. They pivoted and Hoshoryu is in front holding Aonishiki's right arm. Aonishiki fires in a right rear Mawashi grip to go with his left grip, and as he has Hoshoryu is trying to hold under the arm of Aonishiki and over the top Kimadashi style, but it doesn't look very powerful. Hoshoryu tries to pivot his hips to the right and try a Tsukinage body throw under the right hand, with his right hand under Aonishiki's armpit. But it seems Aonishiki was waiting for it and just immediately threw Hoshoryu over to the right in an Iwatanage on the belt. There was no kimboshi for the Sekawake, but it's a gold star win. I tell you what, that move required significant power, super fast reactions. I don't know that Hoshoryu did a massive amount wrong there. It was just Aonishiki seemed to be very much waiting for that, just that slight move to the right of Hoshoryu. 4 losses for the Yokozuna, likely out of the Yusho race now, and fighting just for a respectable 10 wins as Yokozuna. Yokozuna Onosato, he was under such pressure after day 6, day 7, and after 2 wins on the trot. Onosato is just starting to look a bit better. He's liking, just forcing himself into the basho a little bit of form coming to him after some time off and some injury. He faced Takano Fuji on day 7, just wrapped him up for an easy Yorikiri. Day 8, and he did the same to Oho very easily for a Yorikiri. Day 9, Onosato faced everyone's problem child, Aonishiki. Now, Onosato's strength is sometimes a weakness as well. His power drive requires pretty good commitment, good balance, and excellent timing, and we know he's not quite there yet. There's a good tachioi as Onosato starts charging and thrusting at Aonishiki, and as Onosato charges, Aonishiki catches his arm, almost kotanage in the arm lock, pulls Onosato past him and over the bales. A late belt touch led to an Iwata Dashinage open belt throw there. It's probably more a kotanage if we really look at it. 4 losses for Onosato, but not awful. Aonishiki is a quality wrestler who caught an arm, but he was on the retreat and maybe got a little bit lucky there. Ozeki Kirishima, He faced Sekiwake Kodashoho on day 7. Kitashima tried to grab him but missed it. Kodashoho tries to capitalise, drive him out, but Kirishima recovers. They locked up. Kirishima has a right outside belt deep and is twisted as Kodashoho has the front left inside belt and is twisted opposite. Kirishima is in a better position with the belt as he holds Kodashoho's arm. He then drags Kodashoho over. Watanabe belt throws him. Good power from a difficult position for the Ozeki. Watanabe win for Kirishima. Day 8, Kirishima got himself a scrappy but effective Yorikiri on Sekiwake Atami Fuji. And day 9, Kirishima faced Okinawan Tsurunomi. And Tsurunomi reached and got himself a front belt off the tachi as Kirishima catches his arm, Kimadashi style. He pushes Tsurunomi to release the arm, does a big shove to drive Tsurunomi to the bales, but as he does, he overbalances and touches down before Tsurunomi goes out. Mono-e, Gumbai Dori. It's fairly clear that Kirishima touched down first. A little bit unlucky, maybe a bit of lack of patience there. Didn't get his feet into the position for the Oshi shove. It was a bit of a desperation move, I think. Tsurunomi wins by Tsukiotoshi thrush down, and that is 2 losses for Kirishima, puts him another one behind. Kirishima faced Hakano Fuji on day 10. Kirishima started with the Otsuke arm grip where he really locks up the elbow and tries to drive his head in, get control. He then changed it to a Yotsu belt grip and then a right belt left body and drove Takano Fuji back and over. He's probably a little bit lucky having changed 3 times there. Those sort of mid-fight changes can lead to a loss. That's Kachikoshi for the Ozeki, which is good news on his rope run. 2 losses, he cannot afford any more. Kataban Ozeki Kodazakura, he's struggling along with a chance to save his rank, doing it the hard way though. Day 7 he faced Sekiwake Atami Fuji. Strong tachi-eye by the 2 lads. Atami Fuji doesn't have any particular grip but drives Kodazakura back to the bales and over. It's a pretty poor push there by the Ozeki on that occasion. 4 losses. Day 8 against Hirodumi, Kodazakura took a Hikiyatoshi win over a very low positioned Hirodumi, just pulled him down. Day 9 against Hakano Fuji, Kodazakura gets himself a left inside right outside off the tachi-eye, and as Hakano Fuji tries to lock up his arms, he has a right outside left inside belt on the Ozeki. Kodazakura got him sideways off balance, tries to pull him over, but Hakano Fuji defended. They struggled in a low position, but Hakano Fuji had a grip, dragged backwards and pulled Kodazakura down on the retreat. That was the 5th loss for the Ozeki Kodazakura. Pressure is on. A slight recovery on day 10. He got a belt grip off the tachi-eye on Oho, dragged him back and around for an Iwata Hineri belt twist down as he retreated. 5 and 5, making hard work of any Kachikoshi for him and saving his rank. Still has a chance, obviously. 3 more wins needed. Sekiwake Atami Fuji, he took his win over Kodazakura on day 7, his loss to Ozeki Kirishima on day 8, faced Ichiya Momoto on day 9, easy Oshidashi push out victory for his 6th win there. Day 10 against the Tsurunomi, the Okinawan bulldozer. It's funny, Atami Fuji started a long way back from the line for a run-up. He doesn't look like he even touched the ground for his tachi-eye. They do get away with that a little bit. Once he got on Tsurunomi's arms, though, he worked him hard to drive him back and over the bales. 7 and 3 for Atami Fuji, 1 away from Kachikoshi. Sekiwake Kodashoho, he's in a bit of trouble. Losses to Kirishima on day 7, Hakano Fuji on day 8 increased his problems. Day 9 he got a win in a pretty fast paced match by dodging and weaving against a charging Hirodumi, but eventually got him Tsukiotoshi thrust down. Day 10 he took a Yorikiri loss to Ichiya Momoto. Ichi got himself a pretty good grip and twisted to break Kodashoho's grip and then turned to force him out on a Yorikiri. 6 losses and in danger. Now on to Sekiwake Aonishiki, looking for 10 wins to return to Ozeki. He's firming up as one of the leaders of the Yusho race, really. After he hurt his toe the other day, they reckon he lifted the toenail off. He's had someone come down from Tokyo actually to help strap it properly. Day 7 he faced Fujinokawa. Fujinokawa, the pocket rocket, making his way through. High risk sumo for Fujinokawa, but sometimes not working. He pulled a huge jumping henka and was caught by one arm of Aonishiki, who capitalized and pushed him out. Like I said, high risk action from Fujinokawa that didn't work. Got a bit of criticism for that one. Day 8 he faced Takanosho. Takanosho goes thrusting on Aonishiki, and Aonishiki just did not have a chance to get for the belt, but grabbed for a left grip off the tachiai. Takanosho did everything to deflect and keep Aonishiki off the belt. Takanosho lost a little bit of spatial awareness just in a moment, steps back out under Oshi pressure, and pressure as he deflects Aonishiki, who goes down off the side of the dohyo. Look, it's a shame because Takanosho did so well to deflect and thrust at Aonishiki. This is what they should be trying to win on Aonishiki. He really gave it a good go there, kept Aonishiki off the belt, but that gave Aonishiki his 7th win. Day 9 was his win over Onosato, which he locked up his Kachikoshi, and last night obviously against Hoshoryu to firm up his Yusho chances, even with his fairly well strapped toe. Our other contenders at the end of day 10 include Asanayama, who is working his way through the lower ranks. He's got Kachikoshi 8 and 2. Koto Eiho, he of Vertical Shiko, has 9 wins after a good leg trip on day 10 against Abi. Abi tried a big slap off the tachiai, grabbed Koto Eiho, who pivoted and ended up with a leg behind Abi. He then pulled Abi down backwards. Abase Teoshi, a really good win. Actually, no, I think it was a Kiri Kaeshi, actually, backwards trip down. That was 9 for the race. Papa Bear, Takayasu, is on 8 wins and only one behind Aonishiki. Takeda Fuji, he continues his return to Makuuchi with 8 wins. And Shishi is on 8 wins and still in it incredibly for the Ukrainian. I say incredibly as his awkward desperation style of sumo seems to have been replaced by someone who has more balance and movement than I've seen before. So really some big improvement there for Shishi in the way he goes about his movement. He's, like I've always said, he's got some very good desperation moves, and he's shown that even this time as well. He's not an easy beat at this stage. Expect a few of these guys to come up the Torakumi as the week goes on. Day 11 today sees Shishi up against Koto Eiho. That should be interesting. Battle of the Eights. Asanayama is against Takeru Fuji, which should be good for a watch. And Hoshoryu is struggling, is up against the struggling Koroshoho, probably struggling himself a little bit. Onosato against Atami Fuji for his pushing test. And Kirishima has Ichi Yamamoto. Aonishiki, he's up against the hard-charging Goneyama. So certainly Aonishiki is in the box seat with 9 wins. My early pick, Kirishima, look, unfortunately after an impatient loss against Tsurunumi, that makes me doubt a little bit, but he is, again, only one behind Aonishiki. One more for Aonishiki, and he gets his re-promotion to Ozeki for September. I think he'll lock that up fairly easily. I would think he is likely to beat Goneyama tonight. That's it for it, folks. I think both Yokozunas are out of it, looking for just Kachikoshi and a little bit of a respectable score there for both of them. I'm off to the baseball tonight in Tokyo in blistering heat. At least the Tokyo Dome is air conditioned. Join me again, folks. Hakioi, let's learn sumo.